Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard here this afternoon, this morning, whenever you're getting a chance to tune in, as this is a pivotal week for the Edmonton Oilers following the win Saturday against the Dallas Stars. The Pacific Division can really start solidifying itself in those top two spots anyway. If the Oilers can find a way to rack up some wins out east in the New York area, obviously a couple of W's over the course of the week will kind of solidify us above the LA Kings in that number two hole, and then it's just really about getting those last few points. I think it's a 4 game road trip, so you win 3 out of 4. You're then just a few points back of clinching a playoff spot at this point. And obviously, that leaves you a few weeks before the end of the regular season as well. So, for the Oilers, it's going to be a busy week. It's going to be an important week. But from the last time we went out east to this time that we're going out east, and that's not a very long distance between each other, things have changed for the Edmonton Oilers, and in a very positive, very strong aspect of their game, and that's the physicality, that's the intimidation, that's the edge to their hockey game. So we'll talk about that here in a matter of moments. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Would love to have you aboard as a regular viewer here on the channel. Of course, it's free to do, so no worries there. But for the Oilers, the physicality aspect, and I mean, you know what, game one of Max Jones, it was a little bit evident, kind of seeing him run around and cause chaos out there in a fourth line role. But then you add Jake Wallman in last night against the Stars, and suddenly it just becomes a whole new reality where the Oilers did twofold. They out-hit the Stars quite substantially in that game, 22-12. And let's not kid ourselves. We did face the Dallas Stars in the third round of the playoffs last year. So this is a playoff-heavy team as well in the Dallas Stars. And at one point, the Stars were so fed up with the targeting of Mikko Rantanen, who they just got at the trade deadline and signed that big extension. Both Jones and, of course, Wallman got licks on Rantanen. I think Janmark also got a big lick on him too. And you know what? It just ended up that Jamie Benn skated up to Wallman, and Wallman told him, "Dude, you're down by 2. This doesn't really serve me at all right now." And the Oilers were having to decline fights because the Dallas Stars were that fed up with the targeting of Mikko Rantanen. So that's night and day difference from just a week ago at this point for the Edmonton Oilers, because things were not looking so great over the past several weeks prior to the trade deadline for the Oilers. But what you do also note is the physicality has been pretty much bottom tier in the NHL throughout the entire season for the Oilers. So always getting run over, always getting out hit, and always being the last to win a battle, it felt like, for a lot of durations of this season. Now all of a sudden you add Jones and Wallman, and they have a physical impact in games 1 and 2 each. And then, of course, you're going to add in Trent Frederick here over the next week or two. And then, well, guess who else is coming back for playoffs? Evander Kane. And if for nothing else but to run around and cause chaos against the opposition in the playoffs, Evander Kane will serve a purpose in that aspect. And suddenly you have this team that everybody would have accused of being soft, and now they're going to be one of, if not the hardest teams in the West to play against, if everybody is firing on all cylinders and towing the rope in the same direction. And that's also something that's been pretty impactful because of the physicality, is suddenly that compete level, suddenly that effort level from the Edmonton Oilers awoke yesterday in period 1 and period 2. The Oilers kind of, well, they tried to skate home to a 5-1 victory, but again, anytime you're in your own barn up 4 goals in the third period, you need to expect a push from the opposition, and the Oilers kind of got caught asleep at the wheel a little bit. But again, the statement that they made in those first 2 periods was absolutely huge in terms of the physicality, and of course in terms of the actual, hey, you know what, enough of this. Guys target our star players all the time. There were some big hits on Connor McDavid in that game too. Don't kid yourself. The Oilers actually also took care of business targeting a star player like Mikko Rantanen multiple times over. Now, of course, the broadcast did say, and I haven't watched enough Mikko Rantanen to know this for myself, but the broadcast did say Rantanen's not a guy afraid to have contact come his way to make a play. And obviously you saw him sitting on his butt a couple of times, and as a result of moving a puck. So maybe there is something to that as well. But for the Oilers, it was just, I mean, I was sitting there the week before the deadline, kind of the day the Oilers acquired Trent Frederick, saying they have played a very hateable style of hockey. It's, yeah, okay, cool, you're possessing the puck and you're winning more than you're losing. That's great, but there's nothing night in, night out where, did you see that? Holy crap, that was huge. There's nothing outside of that other than maybe a flashy goal once a week for the Edmonton Oilers, because even Connor McDavid hasn't been himself. So when you look at it here and all of a sudden you have three big hits against Mikko Rantanen in a game where you have two guys kind of still debuting with the team, and you've got two more big bashers coming around for this lineup as well, that's going to be fun. That's going to be exciting. And when the Oilers are a tough, miserable team to play against, we're a heck of a lot more fun to watch as well. So that's where I'm getting really excited for this Edmonton Oilers team as they come down the stretch. And obviously, all of a sudden, it sounds like, oh, Tyson, you're all sunshine and rainbows again. I'll tell you this, it's not that I'm all sunshine and rainbows again. It's that the Oilers actually are playing hockey that I appreciate. Again, all you have to do is win, and you have to play a likable style. If you're going to play miserable and make it miserable to watch you win, probably not going to enjoy it as much as we did a game against Dallas last night. Of course, sweating out the third period. We know that's the Oilers hockey. They're never going to win games by 5-6 goals a night. That just doesn't seem to be their MO this year, and that's fine. But cleaning up all the other areas of the game where it shouldn't be their MO, which would be like lack of physicality, lack of speed, lack of everything. Because this Oilers team, for what they are, have enough boots on them, even with the subtractions last year and the additions this year. This team can move their feet a lot more than they have throughout the duration of the season. And I think maybe to some degree, the people that have been screaming they're saving it for the playoffs have been right about that. But the Oilers, as you saw coming out of the break, kind of missed the boat a little bit there and realized with the trade deadline that they had to get going physically here, whether it be the team itself that already existed or the playoff additions that are going to be key contributors in the physicality department. So it's good to see the Oilers back on the physicality train. It's good to see the Oilers are tougher again to play against. And it's good to see that the Oilers out-hit the Dallas Stars in what was a playoff-style game to some degree, right? The thundering hits, the high scoring, and of course the edge-of-your-seat action throughout it. And nice to see the Oilers come up with some highlight reels in the duration as well. So friends, for right now, that will do it for me. Just wanted to talk about the Edmonton Oilers not being so soft anymore. And it's nice to see because, hey, games like Dallas are a lot of fun to watch when the Edmonton Oilers are running around imposing their will physically out there. So hope you saw the same out of the Oilers last night. But for right now, like I said, I am up on out of here.